Ever wondered how to train using the heart rate method for running? It's a question that's been asked by many, and for good reason. Heart rate training, as it turns out, is a powerful tool for runners of all levels. It's all about monitoring your heart rate during workouts, and adjusting your intensity based on these readings to optimize your training. This method provides a structured approach to running, helping to improve both endurance and speed. It's like having a personal coach inside your chest, guiding you through your runs. And what's even better, it can significantly reduce the risk of injury. By listening to your heart, you can avoid overexertion, ensuring your body is always working within its capabilities. So whether you're a seasoned marathon runner or just starting out, heart rate training can bring a wealth of benefits. Understanding your heart rate zones can make a significant difference in your training. Knowing your heart rate zones is the first step to effective heart rate training. These zones are not random numbers, but specific ranges that will help you train more efficiently and effectively. So how do you calculate these zones? Let's dive in. First, you'll need to find your maximum heart rate. This is a rough estimate of the fastest your heart can beat. The most common method to calculate this is simple. Subtract your age from 220. So, if you're 30 years old, your estimated maximum heart rate would be 190 beats per minute. Once you have your maximum heart rate, you can calculate your heart rate zones. These zones are percentages of your maximum heart rate, and each one corresponds to a different level of intensity. Zone 1 is 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate. This is your light recovery zone. It's where you might be when you're just starting a workout or cooling down after a tough session. Next is Zone 2, which ranges from 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. This is your easy or fat-burning zone. It's a comfortable pace where you can hold a conversation. Zone 3, or the aerobic zone, is 70 to 80% of your max. This zone improves your cardiovascular system and is a great place to be for longer endurance workouts. Zone 4 is where things start to heat up. At 80 to 90% of your max heart rate, this is your threshold zone. It's challenging but sustainable for shorter periods. Lastly, Zone 5 is 90 to 100% of your maximum heart rate. This is your redline zone, where you're pushing your limits. It's tough, but it's where you make big gains in speed and power. Remember, these zones are just a guide. Everyone is different, and what feels like a light jog to one person might feel like a sprint to another. Listen to your body and adjust as needed. Now that you have your heart rate zones, you're ready to incorporate them into your training. So let's lace up those running shoes and get to work. Training with heart rate zones can revolutionize your running routine. Picture your heart rate zones as 5 distinct levels of intensity, each with its own specific purpose. Zone 1 and 2, they're your best friends for easy and recovery runs. Staying in these zones means you're working at a low intensity. You're teaching your body to burn fat as fuel and building a strong aerobic base. It's like laying the foundation for a house. Without a solid base, the rest of the structure can't stand. Zone 3 is your go-to for moderate intensity runs. It's a bridge between your easy runs and high-intensity workouts, a place where you're working harder but not gasping for breath. You're training your body to be more efficient, to get more work done with less effort. Zones 4 and 5, they're the high-intensity zones. These zones are all about speed and power. When you train in these zones, you're pushing your limits, challenging your body to adapt and improve. But remember, these zones are like the cherry on top of the sundae. They're important, but they're not the whole dessert. The trick is to spend most of your training time in the lower zones, building your aerobic endurance. It's not about how hard you can push in one session, it's about building a strong, resilient body over time. By training in the right heart rate zone, you can optimize your workouts and see better results. Heart rate training is a powerful tool for runners. We've explored how to calculate your heart rate zones, a key indicator of your body's response to different intensities of exercise. We then delved into how to use these zones to fine-tune your training, helping you to run smarter, not harder. Start incorporating heart rate training into your routine, and experience the difference it can make in your running performance.